All right, mic check. Somebody let me know if you can hear me clearly, real fast. All of you, and there you go. Thank you very much. All right, listen. Don't forget, big decision coming up for Georgetown County. And this is who we think should be the superintendent. That is Ms. Bethany Giles. And what I need for you guys to do is make sure you reach out to your representatives, your Georgetown County School District representatives, that is, and be sure that you express to them that they need to take the interim title off of Ms. Giles' name and make that a permanent situation, so that we can move forward in this education process in Georgetown County. And again, that is the entirety of the list of your representatives. What is that? I just seen a bug I ain't recognize. Hopefully it come back into the lights anyway. But again, if you're in here, please hit the like button. Go ahead and share this out so that we can get this across and out to as many people as possible. Some of the flyers that were up earlier, some of these I'm reading for the first time, so y'all please bear with me here. And this is a third annual back to school. The community, I can't see what that says up at the top. Something community, something community something committee presents, anyway, the third annual back to school bash. This is going to take place at 197 Eva Loop, and this is in Salter, South Carolina. Book bags, music, food, games. This is going to be again on August 3rd from 2 to 4 p.m. Make sure you get out there and get the kiddies the supplies that they need to make it through the year. I think these things are great things that they have, and I think that people should go out and take advantage of it. And this is a good way to stock up, not just for the first day or the first semester, but you can get enough supplies. If you go to enough of these things, you can get enough supplies for the entire year. You know, it may not be everything. You know, some things you're still gonna have to buy, but you can check a lot of things off the list. Um, and one of the things you should be checking off the list is, what are you going to do for an after school program? You need to get your kids signed up. That QR code right there, go ahead and scan it. If you don't scan the QR code, just know, Andrews, at elementary, when you go to sign your child up, make sure you just ask, okay, or contact. There's a email. I mean, I think that's an email. Yeah, contact Z Marshall at coastalcarolinaymca.org. Um, you see it right there, Tylen's Georgetown Family YMC after school program. Is, you know, these, now I can't speak to what the program is, but if it's what it's supposed to be, these are definitely the things that you need to do to help your child. Give your child every advantage they can possibly have in class. You know, especially if the child is in an environment that's crowded. You know, large classes. Um, this is a great way to, you know, have them extend that classroom time through that after school program. So get out and sign up for the program. Make sure you sign up for the program. And here's something that because of a conversation I had with my niece, I'm understanding now that you got a bunch of kids that just graduated from high school that we're getting into a generation of children that like they don't want to go to college. Okay, and that's good, but then what are you going to do? You know what I mean? Um, some of them are under the illusion that they have more time than they think, and a lot of you watching this can attest to that. You can tell them you don't got all the time you think you got. And so me and my niece was having a conversation, and one of the things I was showing her was where to go apply, because a lot of these kids right out of high school, these are jobs. Some of these jobs they can go apply for. I'm not saying they're going to get the job, but I know for sure the reason that they will not get the job if they don't apply for the job. And I was showing her on the SC Works page, and I think um, SC Works page is a great page for you to introduce to your recently graduated high school student who's looking for a job, maybe not wanting to go to college, because a lot of these companies have great training programs, and if you go through organizations like SC Works, that's actually what they are there for. Um, but I was showing her different jobs that, with a high school diploma, she qualified for. You know what I mean? The process of looking what the job description is and what it is, because like I was telling them, most of these jobs, any job you go on, when you get there, they're going to train you on what to do. You know what I mean? So if you already meet the requirements, the next thing you got to do is get past the interview part, and a lot of that has to do with charisma and just being able to talk your way inside of a company, essentially. And with young people, what the interviewer is not going to say to you is that they're looking for young, ambitious people that they can train and grow with the company. And given her age, 17 years, I was telling her if she got with a company like, so she was talking about nursing, and then there's a lot of great programs for you to get certificates, get certified, where you don't have to go to college, right there at Williamsburg Tech, right there at Georgetown Tech. Uh, and most times we just got to open up the computer and register and make ourselves available for them programs. You know, I mean, case in point, Williamsburg County. Not only are these good paying jobs for the area, because the median income in Williamsburg County is $30,000, meaning that the average house income is $30,000, um, despite what happened with the census, because the folks on the lower end of the economic scale did not fill out the census. It gave a false reading that Williamsburg County was doing better than it was. But the point is, you know, for these EMS positions, this is something that we need to push these young people toward. 45,000, that's $50,000 right there. They're going to go over the $45,000 with overtime and that kind of thing. So these are great jobs where a young person can go and accomplish two things at the same time, which is get a job and get the training and that they need. Something to think about. All right. Again, man, y'all make sure Georgetown County counts. Georgetown County counts. I'll be back on that in a minute. But Georgetown County School Board, this is Ms. Giles right here. Those who don't know her by face, here are the members of the board that you need to reach out to, because these are the people that ultimately going to make the final decision as to who is going to be the school superintendent for Georgetown County moving forward. And I think according to the article, that final decision is going to be made around September 20th or something, or August 20th. I think they said they want to have it done by October. Hey, and this Sunday, live right here on Welcome to Edge, the podcast, I'll be doing the play-by-play for this tournament right here that's going to be taking place in Myrtle Beach. It's the AH-15 Top 100 Camp, and it's going to take place Saturday and Sunday, but we'll be broadcasting live here Sunday. Um, we're going to be broadcasting the championship games and all that good stuff. And if you're interested, it's going to be taking place in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 1000 Dunbar Street, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 29577. And it's going to be featuring kids from 7th through 12th grade and post grad. So it's going to be some talent out there. Should be some recruiters on hand. I look forward to getting in there and working with Clean Feed. Clean Feed. Let me get that in there. That's who's going to be shooting it. Gentleman that I work with. And so let me do that right now. This is the company that's going to be shooting it.
Welcome to Clean Feed, your gateway to elevated online events, specializing in multi-camera live streaming production. We redefine online content with superior quality. Elevate your online events with Clean Feed and stand out in a world of high-quality production. Join us for a seamless blend of technology and creativity. Clean Feed, high-quality streaming. Welcome to Clean Feed, your gateway to
Clean Feed. Hi. So yeah, looking forward to doing that Saturday. Hopefully Kaja wants to go along with me so she can go through that whole thing with me. But we'll be down there in Myrtle Beach this Sunday at this tournament at that address. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. There you go. All right, yeah, it's been a long day, guys, and I'll be straight up with you. I haven't spoken with the mayor today because he be busy, and a lot of times I'll be feeling like, man, let me leave this man alone. He working his butt off for that $600. Let me leave him all alone. Let him do him. But these guys right here, oh my goodness, let me find their names, man. These guys right here, and I meant it. They broke into federal prison. Now I don't know what they're going to be. I'm assuming what these guys are charged with is throwing contraband over the fence over at Williamsburg County Federal Prison. Here's the charge right here. Here's what they're charged with. The 3 men arrested reportedly delivering contraband to FCI Prison, Williamsburg County. And they'll look at those guys now. Let me get their names. Unbelievable. But this kind of thing, this kind of thing happens every day, I guess. And so they were allowed to throw the stuff over. They were being watched, and then they were followed. Again, let me find their names here real fast. There you go. All right, there they go. 3 men arrested for reportedly throwing contraband. The Williamsburg County Sheriff's Office announced, shout out to the Sheriff's Office, Monday the arrest of 3 men after they were accused of throwing contraband packages of tobacco and cell phones over the fence at FCI Williamsburg Federal Bureau of Prisons. Luther Jaquan Antonio Brown, 28 years old, of North Charleston. Donate Daniel, that's his name, Donate. I guess he donating time. Donate Daniel Royal, 25, of Columbia, and Lamont Terrell Smalls, 27, of North Charleston. Oh, it's in your inbox. I sent it to your inbox. I'm gonna send it to you right now. My bad. No, definitely, brother. No, hold on. I'm gonna send you the link right here. See, that's what I'm saying. The man he texted me saying I forgot about it, but I didn't. I've been running and gunning all day. I forgot. I didn't not forget, but I didn't get to talk to you today. But he'll be on here in a second. I just sent the link to your. Usually, what I do now, I always send it to your messenger, so you can always check your messenger, and it'll be on there. But these guys, these three amigos right here, decided they wanted to throw contraband in the jail and got caught. Now, I said earlier today I was going to tell you guys a personal story. Now, yeah, I've had people recently, you know what I mean? Now, who they are, that's irrelevant because I'm not involved in it anyway. Like I, told them, hell no, I'm not doing no crazy stuff like that. Now, what they wanted me to do was fly a drone. Not this drone, but they wanted me to fly a drone to bring them there. And how you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, my man. I like I said, I sent the link at I always send this. Always check your messenger. I always send it to your messenger. My apologies.
Yeah, I didn't see it at all, and I was looking at it. So I'm sitting here. So maybe he's out on the job out there. I know how things change, and I said, I checked my system, is nothing, and on the other phone you hearing on nothing else. It's kind of weird.
Man, they tried to shut us down, man. But yeah, I was talking about this story right here that took place at Williamsburg County. These three fine gentlemen right here were trying to, I guess they work for T-Mobile on the low. They was trying to get some cell phones in the jailhouse at the Fed thing down there in Williamsburg County.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was saying, I've been propositioned like by that, to do that, especially with these things right here. Oh man, they know I fly the drone. I'm like, the first problem is Kaja and Kenyatta don't live down at the prison, so I can't go down there to see them. So I don't got no damn business down there. First of all, but yeah, those guys and the mud, for anybody who is being propositioned by family members to do this, family or friends or whoever, what I mean? It's a lot of money. That's why guards are always getting caught up, you know what I mean? Bringing in contraband. It's a lot of money, but it's not worth it. Okay. It is not worth it.
The thing is, this is not new. So I'm not sure why they're still trying this thing. But I think because the prisons are aware of these type of, I think all of the trick now, with a whole drone dropping things in, the cell phone, other contraband. So I'm not sure if the risk is worth it, but desperate people do desperate things.
Yeah, and that's the key factor right there, because like I said, the numbers are like, it was like, hey, look, man, we give you $3,500 to fly this. It probably take you 15 minutes. I'm like, wow, but $3,500 for 35 years. Nah, I don't think I'm gonna trade that off.
It's certainly that you got to figure something else to do to make some money. that's not a good choice. But I saw the story floating around. Didn't get a chance to read it, but bad idea.
Yeah, well, obviously, and again, they obviously monitor them doing it, like you said before. Been monitoring them doing it, and they it's like any thief. They if they get away with it, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen because they're not gonna stop until somebody until they are stopped.
Yeah, there was another joint multi-agency.
I saw that. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let me find that. Like speaking to something we always talking about. That's why I always got Black Diamond Princess on there. They act like it's not a problem in Georgetown County, but then you keep coming up with page filled and what you talk about what you referring to while I find this picture.
Yeah, I'm just sorry. I think it was a this ring that ranged across, I think, multiple counties of folks out there, these pedophiles, and luring kids into these chat situations and trying to take advantage of them in one form or another. It could be you name it, but we know it's not good when you start to try to lure kids into a group, and they could become part of trafficking, local prostitution, all things when could come out of this thing. So there was this huge sting operation that county sheriff department was a part of. I think it involved state and federal agencies, FBI, and all those guys that was a part of this thing. And they brought down pretty large organization. And so that's kind of out there right now. But yeah, we always have to be mindful of who the kids interacting with, and it's difficult with this. It's easy access to.
That's you would think like with this kind of thing popping off, always popping off, that people would be a little less. I'm sorry. They'll be a little less quick to just hand them kids, cell phones.
That's right.
And just, not just hand it to them, but hand it to them and don't add any, because there's guardrails there, but they don't ever, most times people don't even think about that. They don't think about, the safety, whatever, or somebody's actually, doing that. They act like it's always happening. And I say I don't know. It just, it frustrates me.
You have an echo.
Okay. Yeah. I'll take care of that now. Let's see what we got.
Yep, there they are.
Yeah. All right. There we go. Yeah. And there you go again. And it's people just let their kids just go wild online, and they're being reached through the video games too now. So when these kids are on these chat platforms or just kind of chatting away with different people online, you need to be monitoring that. GTA, Call of Duty, any of these platforms where these kids are, that's where these type people are lurking, in the shadows. And there you go.
Is any of them, again, I didn't get to drill down in this, any of them from my immediate area that you know of?
I'm right there with you on that. I'm gonna have to it's got to be for Lane Cribb to put it into.
Oh, no, not Lane. No.
God, dog, man, rest in peace, Lane Cribb. That's the only sheriff I ever knew. You can tell I'm old school.
He's been around a long time.
I'm sorry. I rest in peace. No disrespect, but Carter Weaver, he put it up there. He had to have something going on in there. I'm gonna dig down on this article because it's a whole nother podcast by itself right there, man. This is a for somebody like myself who love politics. I love national politics. I just love world politics. Right now and I hear people say this, and I always say sarcastically or cynically, like people say it's a great time to be alive. Any time is a great time to be alive. You know what I mean? But yeah, just given in the last 10 days, what's happened in this country. Like we've had an assassination attempt. We've had the president step out of the race. We had Kamala Harris elevated to be the new candidate. Just today, we had this lady right here, Miss Kimberly Cheadle, step down, who was she's the head of Secret Service, and she got grilled from both sides, and I like when the Congress is guys are united and
yeah, but that was a pretty obvious failure, and I watched some of it, and I couldn't understand why she could have, but she would not answer some of the basic questions about who's responsible for checking and ensuring that the security plan was. Now I get it. I don't think at her level that she's down, because again, as you look at the hierarchy of any organization, the execution on the ground, you more than likely will not see the head of the department. In this case, Secret Service. So all those folks down at that level, and again, I don't know how their their ground level agency. And the other piece of that too is that when you are out of office, you won't have the same level of security. But that said, there was no reason, absolutely no reason, for anyone to be on the top of a building that close to former presidents or any elected official at again at that level, especially given the environment that we're in now. There's a lot of tension, people looking for a reason to act out. It's an absolute failure, and you can't blame it on. They can't blame it on the local police department, because they own the area. When Secret Service comes in, they own that area, and so they should have ensured that. I mean, come on, a building 150 yards away, that's a pot shot.
Yeah.
And so there was no doubt in my mind that she was going to be out of there, and she didn't help herself.
No, I thought she should have been fired immediately. We haven't. Yesterday was the first time we heard from the Secret Service.
Yeah.
And I thought about something that you always say. I got you on video saying it 100 times. So you always say that a leader should be at the most critical place. Okay, I get it. She's the head. She's not going to be there on the ground. But once that had happened, she hadn't visited the site.
Yeah. Now that's another, that's another failure. And again, which really pulled her directly into it, even if she, that level of security, I guess, is probably 4 or 5 levels below her. But once it happened, she should have probably been one of the first ones out there as a part of the investigation, given the significance of that situation where, you have the former president, now the candidate for major party. You should have been there. You should have been there. And she appeared that she was protecting someone, and they laid into her. Now they gave her the business.
Yeah, they gave her the business, and now I get it for national security situation. You know what I mean? For just for the future of the Secret Service, there's certain things that she couldn't detail, like how many agents on the ground. Just certain tactical things she just could not say, and so she just wasn't prepared at all. You know what I mean? when you look at the timeline, and that's the thing about being in this information age now. You know, that thing was recorded, you know, every which way, every which way you could possibly think of. And there was about 20 minutes where they had identified the threat, and and the shooting happening. So they knew, hey, this guy's on the ground, and so I heard this one senator say this today, and he said it's Trump came within an inch of losing his life, and he said the difference between him losing his life and not losing his life is that with him surviving, you just look incompetent. If he had gotten killed, you look culpable, because there's no excuse for, you know what I mean? I could go out there and secure a perimeter better than what was done on that day.
Yeah. Listen, with the things that happen, like as you just described, it looks like it was an inside situation where it was just intentionally left the gate open for someone to come in and then do nothing about it. When you were warned up front by the folks on the ground, said there's a guy in the building, he has a rifle. And so you see all this happening as he's getting up into position, comfortably laying down in the prone position to take his best shot. Then he got off multiple shots. And so then, and again, I put in, enough defense and security operations and in training and in real, in combat to understand that there is no way, man, that should have happened. And you had limited buildings. So if you didn't have enough people on the ground, then that's when you should get in, integrate with the local folks, put them in the probably the least vulnerable place, but have your snipers and all the guys at Secret Service who job is to take a bullet for someone like former President Trump and put them in those key positions. And again, I looked at some of these things, I see where the sniper shot from, and I saw where this guy is almost like any movement at that level should get your attention. And if they didn't see him, as he was moving into position, I'm very curious about all of this, how this happened.
And so this caused me to start just looking. I was in 81. What was I? 9 years old when Reagan got shot, and so I went back and looked at some videos on that. And the one thing I know about the Secret Service that I've learned over time is that it's even with this situation, they'll learn from it, and then they'll improve. Back from Kennedy, from when we lost JFK. And so I want to play this short little video right here, and what I want tonight, and I'm glad we get into this conversation, is because you understand security from another level. Okay, I'm not talking about just a security guard standing at the door protecting the club. I'm talking about when they have that, what's they call it, the advanced team that come in and to make sure, like ahead of the diplomat, whoever. And see, people don't think that the Secret Service just protects presidents. No, they protect foreign dignitaries, all kind of different high level officials.
And so, yeah, and we all know when they show up, they own it. They own wherever this dignitary is going to be. They own that as far as they need to protect this person. So there's no limit. Again, your first-hand experience, there's no limit to where these guys can go and keep people out of, again, to keep said dignitary safe. And so, let's take a look at what you have.
Okay.
March 30th, 1981. John Hinckley was a 25-year-old with romantic delusions, convinced that actress Jodie Foster would be impressed if he killed the president. Outside the Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C., Hinckley caught up with his target.
And I don't think there was a better demonstration of how that training worked than the assassination attempt against President Reagan. Judge Jerry Parr and Ray Shattuck, as soon as that first shot goes off. They grab the president and they throw him into the car.
Agent Tim McCarthy shielded Reagan with his body, taking a bullet in the process. Within moments, the limo sped away from a scene of chaos. Hinckley was buried under a mountain of Secret Service agents. Agent McCarthy, Press Secretary James Brady, and D.C. policeman Thomas Delahanty lay on the sidewalk, severely injured. All three survived, but Brady had permanent brain damage.
The old saying that, you know, Secret Service agent will take a bullet for the president. If you look at the Reagan assassination, Tim McCarthy did do that, but he was trained to do that as well, and his heroic actions demonstrate that.
Although the agents around the president reacted heroically, many mistakes had been made. The Secret Service relies on a perimeter system of protection. The outer is a preliminary check by local police. The middle has Secret Service agents searching for weapons.
And then there's the inner perimeter, and that's the final defense. It's the agents around the president.
Hinckley had penetrated 2 of the perimeters and fired at least 5 shots at point-blank range. The Secret Service had been trying for years to get metal detectors to screen for weapons. They got authorization days later. March 30th.
So yeah, that takes us back 30, almost 40 years, and not almost.
Yeah, but it was a great illustration on those inner rings of this security zone, and the things that should happen and who has responsibility for it. And so then, and I know it's very tough because I think candidates, or even with the the president or what have you. Well, I went to the candidates and on the campaign trail, they go a place and they want to stop. Wherever they see people, they see numbers, they see votes, and sometimes they'll push the issue to get there and not allow the guys to do the proper security of the area. This is not the case because this was announced. This young man, the shooter, was out there a couple of days, scoping the place. He did his part. He went out and he checked the area out where this is going to be set up. He using drones. That's exactly right. And so, that device there is changing.
That's why there's so much legislation.
No privacy and all. It's crazy. And now I know there's some federal regulations on where they can fly in certain places, but it's still a lot of like again at an open fairground where this incident took place. You can get out there. As a drone operator, you can be 6 miles or several miles away, and you're taking pictures of
high quality pictures.
Exactly, and no one know you're there. They're not as loud as they were when they first came out. So now they're used as part of a covert operation. Those things. Now, so this guy had his plan laid out. And again, 19, 20-year-old, what I think he was 20 years old.
A 20-year-old. I think the Iranians, and what's crazy is that Iran was being spoken of here lately. It's because it's a restaurant that I go to in Colombia. I'm not going to name the restaurant because I'm not making no assumptions here. But the guy that was, it's the first time I had seen him there. You know what I mean? Until sitting down eating or whatever. And asked him, where he was from. I was kind of guessing or whatever. So when he said Iran, I was like, God, man, Iron Sheik, oh boy.
Oh yeah.
But go ahead with your point there.
Yeah. So again, it's their job to go secure that area. And if you have to even leave people in place over 24 hours to ensure that this area is, and again, you see the area where this took place at is just an open fairground.
Mm-hmm.
And so with multiple entry points. And so I could see the guy was already, there hidden, in a spot, sitting out like a sniper, just sitting there for days. No, he walked in with everybody else.
And they shouldn't have let him go on stage. Once they had the alert, like, okay, hey, well, we got a guy. They caught him earlier today with a rangefinder. You know what I mean? Like,
so all of these miscues, these things that should have happened, part of the checklist, and whoever that person on the ground is in charge of the Secret Service, that They have a direct line with the local police department and other, agencies they're using in the security area. That should have been done. So they get through this piece, that breaks down. Obviously, the guy gets off shot, he's shot. Now, the other piece of this thing, which again goes back to, I think, the lack of training, proper training, I think for some of these particular agents, because as you saw in your clip, when President Reagan was shot, he was not seen. They swarmed him.
I said that the first day.
Yes.
I even think he ended up with a broken rib or something because of the way they threw him in that. And when it was all it was a good shot and all that, a good photo op when Trump did all of this. But I'm like, oh man, if I'm, you know what I mean? If they had a sniper team and people were, there, because the director of the Secret Service let this thing kind of linger on, there's all kinds of scenarios, all kinds of conspiracy theories on there was 3 shooters, there were 2 shooters, you know what I mean? Now I truly believe if there were 2 shooters, he was done.
Yeah, because he was, as you see it, when they were casually moving him off the stage, he was more exposed because when he was in front of the podium, it was just, probably a chest up. Mm-hmm. So as he's coming down and, and the heroic, pumping of the fist and those things, now his entire body in the front open. And so then if I'm laying in a defense or having a second shooter, then we know that if something goes down, they're gonna get him in the vehicle and move him off. So someone that's on that side, then he's exposed. And so again, Secret Service did not do what they're supposed to do. A lot of, you hear the chatter going on that now they want to blame it because they were women and they weren't, the physical stature that they could not, with former President Trump, as tall as he is, these folks said that's something to consider.
Yeah, because I mean, when he came back out at the RNC convention, everybody was 6'4" and better. Because again, it was, as I'm sitting there watching, and if you go back and watch the video or the day that it was happening, I did the video. I was like, wow, what is it? I thought you should have never seen his head again. They should have grabbed him up like a sack of potatoes and bump, you know what I mean, to the vehicle.
Yeah, and for the dignitary, he or she should, be in a fetal position. They should not, So I can imagine, again, he's pretty, strong personality, and he wants to do a lot of things on his own. But in that scenario, it should have been a low crawl to get into that van to get away. Mr. Johnson, yeah, so he should have never been seen again. And you see how fast they got President Reagan in the car, sped off. Everybody else, yes, their lives are important, but again, they know the dangers. That's a part of it. So then someone else gonna have to take care of those other people who were shot, in which they did have. Unfortunately, the young man who was killed, he didn't have a chance, but there was a doctor sitting right beside him that tried to administer first aid to him, and that kind of thing.
And that's to the people who, rest in peace to the man that lost his life protecting his family. You see him right here, Mr. Corey Compton Store, and then these other 2 gentlemen were shot. Mm-hmm. David Dutch, 57, James. First of all, so I appreciate this conversation because you just would not believe the level of ignorance when it comes to the, this kind of, oh man, he faked that and this, and I'm just like, what would be the purpose in that,
But it goes back again, the environment that we've been living in now for several years, and especially in this political arena.
Yep.
And all that's going on that places doubt in the people who are not for said person or candidate. They will think that you're capable of anything, and it's all intentional, but not necessarily. Again, understanding the personality of former President Trump, you shouldn't expect anything else other than him showing Hey,
that thumbing
so,
his fist at them people that
yeah,
that want him thing.
yeah.
Your what are your initial thoughts on candidate Kamala Harris? First your initial thoughts on Biden stepping down. Kind of both, kind of run that together, I guess.
Well, we've seen that, paying attention, you've seen the president, um, his mobility, his speech, and those things were starting to fail. So again, those are signs in my, I'm not, obviously not a doctor, but again, signs of some of Parkinson. My brigade commander, on active duty here, we are, I've been in, I think I was in the unit for about a year. So I know how active he was. I know Colonel Chambers, he was out there running every morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, he's out with the troops. Then you begin to see him losing that. And there's this, from a physical appearance, something is changing. So of course, we're the subordinates, we're asking questions, what's going on with the colonel? Something is not right. Then you would see, we would get reports that he's fallen, or and he's coming into the office because his brain is still functioning. He's still, is cognitively there, but everything else is failing. And he would come into the office, with blood on his face where he had fallen on his way out of his car. And so, and again, being, an infantryman, strong, men, he's like, hey, I'm good. But we know it was different. And so something had to be done. So I say that to say that we saw the deterioration of the president's mobility. You saw it in the speech. And so I think, my opinion, they pushed it too long. They allowed that to happen. And then here comes, it took the debate, on a national world stage. And again, we look at it one way. Our adversaries and our allies see that because they depend on the United States for so much. And so when you see the head of the United States pushing through it and people putting them out there, we took it too far.
Yeah. And right now, okay. Go ahead. Finish your thought. I'll go ahead.
So, and again, I don't know if that was a part of this, expose him so we can move to where we are right now. I don't know. It's just like all of our theories as it pertains to what happened with former President Trump and the breakdown of the Secret Service. Everybody has an opinion about how that happened and why. Same thing, I think, with President Biden. Why was he allowed? Why was he pushed to go out and debate and so early? In the campaign. So it's a lot of questions, but at the end of the day, I think it was the right decision to step aside and take care of himself, get him whatever's going on, and so he can get some help because it's not safe. He's traveling a lot. He's trying to get it done. You'll see at one point he seems to be okay, for an 80 some odd, but we know 80-year-olds around here still getting after it. So it ain't the age. It's not just the age. It's something else is going on that he should have been, in my opinion, protected. But a lot of people you talk, for everyone you speak to, probably have a different opinion on that.
I'm one of them ones because I believe, and this is my theory of watching. This should have been done a long time ago. I didn't even think they should run him. Back when we was calling him Sleepy Joe, you saw the decline. The way they ran him for the presidency, during the COVID, kind of kept him in the basement and kept him away from things. I have a couple. I got some. I don't like what the Democrats done here. Okay, and I guess that's why I find myself more in that independent. I'll say I'm conservative, but they get on my damn nerve too with some of the extremist behavior. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so in this, I don't like the way, because here's how I see this. They knew this a long time ago. They allowed the people 14 million people to vote in the primary saying, hey, we want Joe Biden to run for us. That's what they did. That's what they propped up in front of everybody. That's who they voted for. And so now, you know, and the Democrats are always talking about a threat to democracy. Well, for me, right, somebody that's been plugged into this political thing for a minute, I remember in 2020, Kamala Harris polling behind people like Pete Buttigieg against. She was one of the first ones, if not the first one, to drop out in 2020, which was a sign that the people did not want her. Okay, so then fast forward, now Joe Biden brings her in and makes her the vice president. Okay, I think, you know, again, this is an opinion, that they knew that they were going to make. I've been saying this, you know. I prophesied nothing. Okay, I prophesied nothing. As a matter of fact, I wrote on Facebook a couple of days before he stepped down that he stepped down, and not as a prophecy, just to say that if you're watching this thing and tracking it, is, you know, there are predictable outcomes. And I thought that this was the predictable outcome. Now, I think this is I think with just like with Trump, Kamala Harris comes with her own set of issues, you know, as being an electable candidate. You know what I mean? And
if you will, before we transition to, let's look at, you talk about the 14 million that voted for President President Biden to continue, you know, in that capacity. So we'd also look at this thing is that's where we are. There's 14 million people plus concerned about what former President Trump would bring and how it. So we got to look at this thing and
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't put us in a good position as the people, because we'll take a dead man over Trump at this point. You could put a tomato can there and people will vote. And again, I think that's bad for the people. You know what I mean? Because again, that they could have already pulled a plug on him and you know, and ran with that. And it just the optics. I don't know that they can win with her, because here's the thing: the people who were going to vote for Biden going to vote for Kamala Harris. There ain't no secrets there. You know what I mean? Democrats going to vote, and Republicans who are going to vote for Trump, that's just what they're going to do. It's the middle. It's the middle. That middle that you got to.
And I think they realize that. And I will say this: I've always been an advocate for whomever's capable, competent, and that can do the job regardless of what your race, gender. They go out and have and get a shot. And in this business, at that level, there are experts, should be experts in every field that manages, whether it's the Treasury Department, whether it's, you know, whatever it is, you got experts there. So again, the president is the head of this thing, but he or she will not have control to just execute solely in all things.
Do you think the president should step down?
Say again?
Do you think, and I'm kind of not transitioning away from where we at, because I'm thinking about somebody like you. I'm thinking about somebody in your profession, right? And you alluded to it earlier. So if I'm China, right, we could end up with another Ukraine type situation right now, because they smell weakness. They may say, man, that man is he already admitted he ain't fit to, you feel what I'm saying? So in the next 6 months, because he's going to be the leader for the next 6 months, you know what I mean? What kind of a security risk does that pose for us as a nation? You know, from your
I would, with all confidence, that's a false sense of security for anyone who thinks that we're vulnerable because the president's capacity is in this state. because there's a Secretary of Defense. His name is, Lloyd Austin.
Okay.
There's the 4 generals. Well, every rep in the Joint Chiefs of Staff. We have the best Army, Navy, Marine, Air Force, now space. So those guys, their job is still the same. Their mission stays regardless of who is the president or not. Believe it or not, those are the guys that are prepared to fight when it comes down to it. Now, the decision to go into, to initiate a war, again, that rests with Congress, president, and those kind of folks. But we've ended up, history will tell you, we've gotten into, you want to call it a conflict, but when there's bullets flying, you're in war. Now, we know certain things have to happen before it's declared a war, but when troops are out there on the ground and
it feel the same.
It's war for us. And so I'll say to you and to anybody out there who thinks that the America is somehow vulnerable when it comes down to our national security and national defense, it's bad. That's a false insecurity. I'm telling you right now. Now again, just from the perception, it will encourage someone of our force to maybe try something. I mean, you see some of these foreign leaders are coming together, having their meetings and that kind of business, and riding cars together. They know that the capability of us to move from point A to point B and bring some real heavy pressure on them hasn't changed. So I would advise them to stand, stay where they are and not try that, because again, those are the guys that are prepared to do that now. And as commanders on the ground and those general officers, trust me, they are alert to what it perceives by our adversaries. Mm-hmm. There are people I know right now ready to deploy and reassure them that America is still America when it comes out of national security and national defense.
Yeah, and I can imagine during such an event like we had with the assassination attempt, that would automatically make, hey, watch 6. You know what I mean? Kind of like, because they.
And by the same token, we cannot have a failure on a broader scope like the Secret Service had with former President Trump. Mm-hmm. So we can become so focused on now, who are the candidates, who's going to run, and forget about what's going on there, Bishop, and forget about, our internal security inside of the United States, because there are bad people here. They're here all the time. Mm-hmm. 9/11 may seem a long time for some people, but those who had firsthand experience of that, and then, subsequently having to fight those wars because of that incident, it's still fresh in our minds.
If the border is open, and I'm not trying to get into that situation or have that argument, because I can have the argument saying they need to open it, it'll be for workers. But anyway, do you think the enemies, like it's being suggested, do you think the enemies would take an opportunity to, if they can get somebody into the country and plant them and embed them, they take that opportunity?
Yes, it's happening. They are here. Okay, there's no question in mind. There are people, and again, you look at even our domestic terrorists. Yeah, mass shootings. I mean, what's the difference in we're getting shot and killed by an American than it is from a foreigner who snuck into the country?
I mean, it's a 20-year-old who circumvented what's supposed to be some of the best security on earth.
Yeah. And then you think about, again, as we look at this thing holistically, we start talking about security for dignitaries as former President Trump. We look at our, it's always a hot debate about Second Amendment. I mean, you look at what we've done here in South Carolina is really open things up. So again, those people who we have given access free to carry these weapons wherever they want to go. In fact, I was just in Greenville for an annual meeting this past week. There's 3 guys, and I know these guys were drinking, but they got their Glock on their hip, walking freely. those same people can walk into a gathering around a dignitary, and if they have bad intentions or if something set them off, then that's going to be the first thing. So we don't think about the second and third, or we should, and maybe don't do it enough thinking about the second and third order effects of these type decisions when we say it's open carry, no permit and those kind of business. We are asking for something bad to happen in our schools, our churches, because there's nothing to tell the bad guy, someone with bad intentions or just mentally, not there. It's nothing to keep them from, being ready to do something, being prepared to do something like that.
I wonder if, I guess it's a question for Ms. Giles, and not in detail, but I'm going to assume that it's a part of the conversation when these kids come back together. This event, you know what I mean? Like how are they processing it, and how is it going to play out? You know what I mean? In the overall conversation on these different campuses.
I don't believe this incident with the attempt assassination has entered into the minds of our schools, because they have their own experiences that should keep them alert to something like this happening. There are mass shootings in schools all the time. Mm-hmm. So this particular incident, everyone would truncate it and said, okay, that's a political arena. Mm-hmm. That's what's going to happen. No one thinks that this could happen here. What about, copycats? Mm-hmm. Now we all should be alert. I will tell you personally, I don't underestimate anybody's, ability to try something.
You can't know what's in somebody's mind.
Yeah. Especially again, the national level tension is all the way down here at the municipalities.
Yes.
People get real angry about the simplest things. And then the social media, the platforms give everybody an opportunity to chime in, get somebody revved up. And again, you don't know what somebody's dealing with. And maybe it's this thing about a pothole, I damaged my car. That's a reason to go out and harm someone. It's that simple. That is the environment where we are right now. Some say that kid, the young man who shot, was bullied in high school. They say that translate to, well, if that's their perception of the former president. You don't know. And again, we're all going to have these assumptions, but I don't think we should lift the restrictions on going through the process, the rigorous process to have a weapon. I think everyone, and again, I have my share of firearms.
And that was the same in the case. This guy's dad owned about 20, 30 guns. You know what I mean? He was an avid gun owner. And in that area, that's like a rural area where, they do hunting and farming and all that good stuff at.
Yeah, it's a part of us. It's a part of our, our culture.
Again, I don't know that regulating, and again, I don't know that it would do anything. I don't know that it wouldn't do anything.
Right.
But, we just can't regulate the intentions of a madman.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. But I will tell you, I don't think, lightening the restriction, because if you don't.
No, there should be barriers of entry.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There should definitely be barriers of entry. But then once they've passed that, you know what I mean? And again, the reality is that somebody motivated enough. There's so many guns on the streets of America now that you know what I mean. If it's their desire, they can get one.
Yeah. So you have to plan for the worst all the time. There's no time that you can relax. What happened there was a lot of relaxed people.
Yep.
I think because again, former President Trump comes off with such a
star power,
strong personality,
fanboy. Some people got caught fanboying. You know what I mean? Because
exactly. Even the Secret Service.
Yeah. Why was this guy? Oh man, I'm on the Trump detail. You feel what I'm saying? And in the meantime, you got this little dude just walking around with a whole ladder, AK.
Everybody want to get a glimpse of the celebrity, the former president, and got lax. And then there's one guy with bad intention that slips into it and was allowed to do, got away with what he did.
Yeah, and again, this stuff, the information is just constantly leaking out. The communication, the comms, the communication between the local and the state, because
Yeah.
that's where we had that time when and here's this guy right here. Oh, where is he at? One gentleman right here. I said they could find it. This like when they you know how people say, man, they go find the worst black person to do this interview. Here we go.
Noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here.
I mean, as if he needed the Trump hat. Like, the guys like that, they're either Trump supporters or rappers.
Well, I was annoyed with the old lady who was looking for all the reporters to tell her story. So she was on every network. This was a moment of fame for her, but he did I thought he did a pretty good job. And again, it looks crazy afterwards. You'll see, with all the animation, but he was one of the ones that told it. Yeah. Nobody respond.
Yeah,
and now send information to do something about it.
When I first heard that, I said, okay, now I've been, and you've been to events where there's 15, 13,000 people. Okay. And so if at first I thought it was just one person just kind of pointing, hey, look, man, you know what I mean? And I can see security kind of ignoring one person. All these people here and this one fool would just point, you know what I mean? But it wasn't that case. It was they was all like, hey, he is right there, Yeah,
it's like nobody wanted to take that. So again, which leads people to believe that there was an inside job.
Yeah, I know one thing. If I'm Trump right now, I'm watching what I eat. Like, you know what I mean? If I ain't opening that pack, I ain't eating it.
and yeah, that changed the environment, not just for him, but for his family.
Yeah, for his family, man.
The area, bullets doesn't have, you can be the sharpest shooter or the best sniper, but a bullet goes when it's released, so then it makes everybody in that circle innocent. People sitting, well, all of them innocent, but people sitting in the stands to support the candidate they want, they're therefore all are now vulnerable to something like this. And this young man was a firefighter, and obviously a husband, father, and now he's gone.
He's gone.
You see, and I think we as elected officials, especially at that level, because that's really where a lot of the tension are. We got to be mindful of that as well. Is that when this everybody's talking about toning the rhetoric down, toning it down to get keep people.
Listen, Trump ain't toning it down. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm listening to my dog. I've been on Truth Social.
Yeah.
Oh no, he.
But I think especially for him, because there are people that that look, this guy has to win or else it's not going to be nice. And so you got to understand that's a responsibility that you bear when you create this atmosphere. So, and again, they go where you go, and if you keep it down, that's just how it is. Everybody want to forget about January 6th.
Yeah, they say
you're inspired, whether you directly ordered, just a code red.
Listen,
one of our favorite movie, A Few Good Men.
Absolutely.
Whether you order or not, people that are following you understand your intent. And that's a part of our in military, what is the commander's intent? Whether he's giving you that direct order or not, what is the intent? If it's to go take said hill or community, and he didn't say that, but his intent is for this mission to get accomplished, and these things here have to happen. And then people go out and operate on their own understanding. Because in the minds of some of these people, if we go in here and disrupt this process, this election is not, going to go through. The results of this election is nil. No. So we have to know that the things that we put out there and how those, especially in the leader, that, this is what he or she want me to do. Was this his intent? And it inspires people. I mean, there's a lot of things have happened here, and it's through the whether direct or indirect inspiration from the people that we hold in high places. That's the deal.
Yeah, it's
Now I can't let y'all look. You brought up the vice president that is now apparently is going to be the nominee for the Democratic Party.
Oh, Kamala. Hey, man, this is. I just think we're living in remarkable times. What I mean? I've been doing some just recording that I'm not going to release that I think is I want to see how it ages, like how if I'm gauging this, the right way, because this is and another thing again, and this is politics, and this is how politics work, because a week before Sunday, everybody was telling me how strong Joe Biden was. He outworking these kids here in the White House. He you know what I mean? He just swim across the Baltimore River, whatever, And it's just like, okay, and then I saw it. I'm like, okay, y'all gonna tell me I ain't see Weekend at Bernie's, And then all of a sudden, boom,
Yeah, but again, there's something, there's a health issue there. So you may have moments of time, again, I think leading up to that debate, everyone, we call it in the military, we call it, oh my God, not the rehearsal, but you're rehearsing, you're ready, and they probably put him through a lot. And again, his health could not sustain that. He even had, a mock debate when he got to Atlanta. I think that's where the debate occurred. When he got there, he's just not physically.
No, they told me he had a cold. A cold? What a cold you got?
But the next day,
they look like, okay, he got COVID. I said, God, don't do that.
The next day he did well.
Now.
The next day he did well in terms of showing, the ability to move about and speak. And again, giving a speech and then a debate, two different forms of communicating. You got to think, you got to be prepared to, respond to what the opposition say, and it's too much for what's going on with him. And so here we are. Now you see, the surge now in the Democratic Party. A lot of energy, enthusiasm behind, the vice president.
Will it hold? Will it hold?
Time will tell. I'm inspired. Again, I'm the kind of guy who, again, if you want to do the job, get out there and get after it. I wrote a paper, my thesis, or you want to call it, when I was in the War College, and the discussion is about women in combat. Now, again, the way our military was, where we were set up, women were never to serve in combat units. But then I go back to when I was a battalion commander at Fort Jackson, training troops. I had young ladies out performing, out leading, whether it's marksmanship, whether it's physical, than some men. So would you take a man that is incapable, can't shoot, can't do one push-up and put him in a leadership position, can't lead anybody, or would you take this person who happens to be a young lady or old lady that can do that stuff, and then what do you do?
Yeah, I get the analogy.
Do you call him a DIE hire?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what I call him, because
I said not.
that's what she. Listen, she's not the candidate, in my opinion. Not again, a great analogy. Just her. I can't wait. This is gonna be okay. You thought Stormy Daniels, the Stormy Daniels stories was crazy. Oh, it's getting ready to be. They coming at her full blast because, and fair is fair, because of Stormy Daniels issue. You know, the Stormy Daniels situation that took place, whenever it took place, is an issue. Ooh, Lord, Willie Brown. Willie.
I don't. And again, you're right. You're in this game.
Ooh, it's coming.
Whatever there's dirt that could persuade, people to change their vote, it's going to be used.
Yes, sir.
And so then, can you sustain that? Because then it's a game of numbers. Are the people more comfortable? Was it 14 million people comfortable putting an elderly man, keeping him in seat to avoid having a guy who's a little less, not as old, but is high risk? See, these are decisions that voters have to make. And what I will push back on some of the comments I've seen about the vice president being incompetent. That's nonsense. See, so if they're gonna come, rather they come after, former President Trump about something that he's capable of doing, and you try people just brush that off, because there's no way you're incompetent
and reach that level.
Right, and reach that level. So let's not.
But people gonna be triggered by that. I already heard AOC. She already triggered already, and these things are gonna have racial undertones and all this.
That's going to happen.
It always happens. It's never not happened.
No, it's going to be a part of conversations, whether it's in the open or in closed circles. That's always welcome to America.
Always, period.
Welcome to America.
Yeah.
And so. But then the other argument is that America is not ready for a female president. America is 249 years old. So if you are not ready for a paradigm shift of proven people who have done amazing things, not just her, you name it. And if 249 years you're not ready, come on, again. Put that to the side. Let's get down to nuts and bolts. Are you a person that is competent enough to listen to your advisors? As I told you earlier, when it comes down to national security and national defense, they're experts who have done it. Lloyd Austin, who commanded CENTCOM, Central Command, is your Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, go ahead, Mayor. You on live. Go ahead, Mayor. Welcome in, Jay. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, so you have, and then you look down, is the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, 30+ year, 4-star general, Air Force. Then you look at all the service commanding generals, and then you get down to the guy where the action is. Those are real competent. So then let's not talk about the person sitting at the top. Again, if you're not a dictator and says, no, I'm going to disregard all of what these folks who are now civil servants, who were, experienced military leaders in command position. So if you got a person that won't listen to them, then you don't need to be there. If you got a person that won't listen to your experts that are dealing with economics, business, and understanding foreign trade and that kind of bit, you don't need to be there.
But what about the argument that a woman's just going to be too emotional for that job?
I heard that too, and I've seen it. I for example, last night, young brand new lieutenant, I know, she calls me uncle, and she's very close with my niece. Just got to a unit and having some issues because now she was disrespected by a person that is, that a non-commissioned officer, so again, commissioned officer, just blatantly disrespected in front of everybody else. So by the time I got on the phone and I'm hearing, because he wants some advice, how do we handle this? And I heard the emotion. I said, the first thing I told her, stop, get that out of your system. Get yourself together, because you don't deal in this business. It's not about the tears. That is in some people's mind, especially men, it's a sign of weakness. When I know she's very capable and wouldn't have gotten where she is if she wasn't. But that's a part of that, development. You take that away, because there are days when I want to break down and let some tears, even as an old dude like me who's done a lot of crazy stuff, who's seen the tough stuff. So it's not a tear doesn't make you weak, but when you allow adversity to cause you to break down, then that's what it is. And they have to know that. I don't care if you're a man or woman, you have to know that. It is a sign of weakness unless you are mourning the loss of someone, then that's expected. But if you have a position that you can just start to, and for us, I would say, the first thing you do is you want to punch somebody in the face. That's not an appropriate reaction. That's not condoned. So you look at how people respond to things. First thing you know, you want to make them tap out. So I say to everybody that's listening, man, you think about it. There's a woman that gave birth to you. There's not one man that I know that given birth to anybody. And as a mother, and a lot of them, having to raise kids by themselves. And if you're telling me that this person is a weak person, that she can't do X, Y, Z, then how did you get to where you are? How did she withstand the highs and the lows of raising kids? And your parents would tell you that's some of the toughest thing. So before we start to put our women into a box, or because of your skin color in a box that says you can't do this, this is a black job.
A black job.
Let's be real.
I love when they said that, a black job.
A black job, implying that this is all you can do because of the color of your skin. Then that's when we miss out on having the best person in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I had a conversation with and I was telling this young lady that I that stuff bothers me to the point to where it's like I don't ever want to feel like, okay, I got this job because I'm black, or because it's just I'm capable. You know what I mean? That's what I want to be known. I'm capable. So, Jay, you still there? Okay.
Well, man, I got to fight with. I got to spar with both of y'all.
Oh man, I had to bring it the secret weapon in. So Jay, this knee-jerk reaction to what's going on. Right now, it's a lot happening politically. So we've been having that conversation and that. I don't know if you've been following or not. About Vice President Kamala. Put some respect on that, homie.
Yeah. You say he's being censored right now.
Yeah, I can. Can you can hear him, Colonel?
No, I can't. No, we can't hear him.
Oh.
So, no, that's why I say he's being censored.
Oh, my bad. Hold on a second, Jay. I don't know what I did there. Hold on a second. Let's see what I did here. Okay, hold on a second. My bad. Hold on. It's on my end, Jay. Hold on.
Yeah, and I'll say this too again. my daughter is a junior at the University of North Georgia, and she outworks a lot of those guys. She is physically fit. She's probably better, better. I know she's in better shape now. I was at that time, definitely now. I wouldn't want her to be in the infantry. I wouldn't want her to be doing those combat arms things. But I will tell you, from the ability to lead, and the way she's being recognized for her leadership and her, and just as strong as she is. I mean, they do mountain climbing. She's now qualified to rappel. She's already jumped from an aircraft. What's going on, Mr. Tucker? But I wouldn't want that. But if she chooses to do that, and someone tell her that because she can't do it because she's a female or she's a black female, we're gonna have some problems.
And so I was in. That's when I first got in the Navy. Is when I was on the Abraham Lincoln the first time they let women onto battleships. When all that started to change, I think Clinton was the president during the time, and I'm coming out of an old world of thinking. I'm just keep it real with you. You know what I mean? Out of the Stone Age, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And so now I do know that there are capable women, and that woman is capable. No, you should not stop her from, but just me, I don't. Women in battle. Again,
it concerns me too, because my first instinct as a man is to protect them. So that was one of the things. If you go back in history and how we protect our women, we we want to be there for them. We don't want anything to happen to them. And so that was one of the. I think the theory is that it's a distraction, because our first instinct. You think about it when Jessica Lynch and the other young lady, Shonda, were captured, POWs. I was there. They were behind my formation. And yes, it triggered that, man. There's an American young lady, and now she's in the hands of the enemy. But guess what? I had to keep going, because there's somebody else's, but it never left my mind that what could possibly be happening to these young ladies. So it becomes now, in that moment, when I'm thinking about that, I'm not thinking about now the mission and allow something like a shooter or someone to come in and now have a significant impact on my unit, and now all things have failed. So we, and then what people don't really know, and you'll talk to any nurse, or not a nurse, you talk to any combat medics and those kind of things, they were already in the front line. It's not all men, taking care of the wounded in the logistics support units.
Yeah, and that's a part of that too, because like you said, when you up there doing medical, the bullets still flying. The bullets ain't
bullets. Yeah. Chaplains don't carry weapons, but guess what? To the enemy, you're just another American, and he can get shot. American. And that's the way it is. And so then and what we learned from the Jessica Lynch situation is that everybody need to be trained as like a fighter. You need to understand small unit tactics, because a part of that problem because we went into that war, with a conventional mindset, tank on tank and all that kind of business. And then you got a rear D, when in fact the battlefield became, 360 because now these guys are fighting as insurgents, guerrilla warfare. So they could be anywhere. So then if you're back there and you don't know how to shoot, move, and communicate, then that's a problem. So then what happened? Then when I left there in 2005, when I became a battalion commander, we began to train, and that was a co-ed basic training. We trained them as a small unit fighting force.
And so, and that's what as we were having this conversation, and because that was a long time. I'm a long time removed from the military, and so I guess it was expected for it to be kind of clunky, in the beginning, because it was foreign to us. It was, and now that I think about, all the time that's passed and all the different training that went into place, to where now the soldier coming in now don't even look at this thing the same way that I look at it. What I mean?
It's no conventional. It's no conventional front. You got the front line, and then you got rear detachment. No, it is a 360 battlefield. You ask anybody that's out there, you look at your casualties and look at their MOS or whether it's the type of unit, and you will have just as much casualties in it. And because you got the logistics people moving logistics to and from the front line.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you out there on that road, an IED doesn't care whether you're a male, female, black, white.
Absolutely. And that's
So then if this vehicle, even for our pilots, that aircraft gets shot down, now you're an infantryman. Are you prepared to fight and survive and that's my point when we start talking about whether it's the president of the United States or the young soldier on the battlefield. It shouldn't matter what your
you winning this conversation right now. You done brought me over. You winning this conversation right now because I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm a rational person, and you're right. You feel what I'm saying? You're right.
We just have to prepare them for it. And as a result of 20 plus years of fighting in an unconventional war, we now, let's train them as small unit to shoot, move, communicate. We've opened up the Ranger School. Now they're going to some of these special, these special operations schools. And because, again, let's imagine if young Jessica Lynch had that training. There were reports where their weapon, because no one expected the logistics unit's going to be in a direct firefight. So their weapons weren't clean, and that shouldn't happen anyway. They didn't know how to respond. Again, all those things fail when weapons not even firing because you didn't clean them or you just didn't have enough time on the ground or on a range.
And everybody's making a big deal about this lady that couldn't put her gun in her holster, kind of deal. You know what I mean?
And even when it's intense, and I can imagine, again, you're Secret Service, but you're still a human. So then when this is happening, you got to secure the president or this dignitary. A lot of those things that if you don't do it enough, everything we do in the military, it's second nature because we do it all the time. Mm-hmm. You can take that M6 or that M4 and break it down to the firing, removing the firing pin in less than 2 minutes. Put it back together. In some cases, some people are so good at it, they can do it blindfold. We take as a part of the infantry and this whole expert infantry, badge thing. We train on every weapon system up to 50 caliber, throwing hand grenades again to make you an expert. And so a part of that is you do a 12-mile road march. You just in 4 hours. I think that's what's standing back then. Then you at the end of that, you got to come back now and disassemble and assemble and take your weapons through a function check while under that kind of stress.
Battle ready to get you battle ready.
Yeah. And you're on the clock, and you talking about the pressure. That's in garrison. That's not even in the combat zone. So for this young lady with the weapon, the president, vice president, the former president just got shot. Mm-hmm. So, and if you haven't been, trained, and this is second nature push thing, it's going to end up on the ground. So it's. We and again, a lot of only 1% of America go into the army or in the military. And I always say it. I don't think there's enough training at our academies to make our law enforcement officer, because the shooting, I think that's in Illinois. A lot of things play into it, but if you don't know the dangers of a weapon when you pull it, and I always tell you, don't pull that weapon unless you plan to use it. And if you don't understand what comes with that and how to, de-escalate it, someone will get shot. Someone will get hurt. And it's going to be a lot of innocent people around you. It's not, it's not a game. So again, as we've touched a lot of things, but when it comes down to it, if you're capable of doing it, if you're prepared, let them have at it.
No doubt. I'm going to have to go with you on that. And it's because I had to, I had some growth in my thinking right then, because again, I thought about when I went in the military and how much time has passed, and then the kind of training that the military does. I'm like, man, they done changed the whole conversation with that. Because even during the time, I came in during the time of don't ask, don't tell, right?
Yeah, and
that was a dangerous time for homosexuals on Navy ships. I'm telling you that right now.
Oh, wherever, these guys are being put in the wall lockers in Germany and pushed down stairs, because that's just that wasn't something we were.
Ah, man, that was found out on that ship. Oh, yeah. You better turn to a fish.
And so then the military had to change, because you know, as these things become more and more to the forefront, whether it's female in combat units or, you know, the LGBT community that is not, you know, it's different. I will tell you, in the military, I think every 10 years there's a significant change in things. Like right now, you can wear your hair long. That drives me nuts.
Yeah.
It means something to old retired guys, but to them, probably the you know, it's normal to them now in the military. I could not. It drives me nuts. I can't even pay attention when I see a soldier with the hair down and ponytails way back here, or guys with beards in uniform.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make sense to me. But to the leaders that are in there now with these generational changes, you know, this thing they should teach us or tell us back in early 2000, that now we have this generation of soldiers of kids that you're going to have to talk to them differently. You know, they come in with a stress card and say you can't say certain things, and then you look at an old head like me saying no, they have to be disciplined. So taking them through this shock treatment when they come into basic training lets them know that these drill sergeants and these folks here are in charge. You get their attention getter. That had to change. So we had to figure out now, how do we do things? And so then for us, when they come down to basic training, we taking them through a whole scenario on a combat scenario to let them watch drill sergeants perform this. That triggered their minds. Say, well, we're not back at home. We're not back with mom and them. We got to really pay attention. So the yelling and all that other stuff, it didn't work. It didn't work. So I guess to say that, you know, times change.
Yeah.
Will change. Generation change. How do they learn? Your ability to learn. I'm still writing down notes. Everybody else is on their PDA or whatever these devices, taking all notes electronically. I still got to write notes, and you know, I'm old school. That's how I retain it. I write it down. I'm left behind because there are people out here that's got it done, the product is done, and they're moving on, where I'm still writing it down and then I'll go type it out. So it changes. It's an evolution of change that makes us so unique that even the enemy can't figure us out, because you got a different kind of leader.
No doubt.
But yeah, so I applaud, you know, Vice President Harris stepping out, and I think she's going to do a great job. I'm just looking at how it changes the attitudes and the people, how they're thinking, and it really brought down some of the tension, because now everybody's trying to figure out what this is all about.
Trump talking about suing Joe Biden.
I know.
Trump said, I didn't spend all this money on campaign stuff and all this stuff, and now you drop it out. I almost drove off the road when I heard that. Jay, what's up, big dog?
Jay, can't hear you, brother. I'm getting feedback too, Jamal. I'm not sure what's going on.
Yeah, Jay coming in there with that crazy system.
Going on. Yeah, Jay's coming in hot.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. I think I had you twice. Hold on. No, I don't know what you got going on there, Jay.
Technology is probably saving us, because you know Jay gonna come in.
Oh yeah, he ready to go off. Well, don't worry, I got a special show with him. Just him, Jay. I'm gonna pop you out, pop back in real fast. Yeah. So Anytime Fitness is open.
Yes, sir. They're open. I hadn't had a chance. I've been out of town, but got my membership, ready to get some of this fat off me. And see, it's time like this where I'm awake and I can go out and get a workout in, and so it's really convenient. And again, shout out to Mr. Chris for bringing it to Andrews, and we're looking forward, to all the new things that are happening.
Okay, I'm trying to get here, guys.
There you
I got you there. You're in there now. Yeah, you got to turn that phone landscape though.
Okay, my internet is bad. I'm out here in my car, and I don't know what it is.
He's in an undisclosed location.
No doubt. All right.
Yeah, my wife won't let me in the house talking to you guys. I'm just being honest about it.
She know we can go all night on these topics.
Well, Well, I've been married for like going on 19 years, and she's a how you say it, a liberal Democrat, and I'm a conservative, not a Republican, but I'm a conservative. And how you make that happen for 19 years? And she's a feminist.
What you do is you vote for Kamala Harris. Is what you do.
No, what you do is you go in the car and talk your shit.
Hey, what's the language?
I'm sorry. You go in the car and talk your stuff.
That's all you got to be sensitive. You got to have a 5-second delay.
My bad, guys.
No, you're
yes,
good.
you asked me a question before I got tuned out, but the mayor was saying something about, you don't want to put stigmas on people that might be great for the job. He was saying something like that, and I was saying that's true. You don't want to have a missed opportunity for the best person for the job. But in my opinion, that quota system and that we call it equality, or what's it called? DEA, something like that. Yeah.
Diversity, equity, inclusion.
So what it is though, those programs kind of like edge everybody out. And you look at the history and the record of Kamala, and you got to ask yourself honestly, could she handle that job?
I'd say yes.
No, I don't. Well, why you say yes? You mentioned
I don't think you have any softies when it comes down to prosecuting cases and holding those kind of positions that she did. It wasn't with tears or because you're wearing pumps. It's because you have the ability to understand the law, the profession that you're in, and was very successful. So again, you got to look at the success of a person in terms of how they rise to the level to even be considered for a position like this or any position in the industry. That's my take on it. And I don't, again, I think we have to understand too, when it comes down to, I think it was this, what was it before the DEI, it was affirmative action. Okay. I think that's what we're trying to get after. And there's a reason for those policy laws and those kind of things, because again, coming out of, you look at the history of America, it wasn't a level playing field for all people. And so then so the law had to step in and said, okay, you can't discriminate. You should not discriminate against this person because whether they're white, black, or whatever, but what about their ability to do the job? So then that become those things that now it's established that says you have to ensure that you give this person a fair shot. You don't have to give them the job because they're black or white, but you give them an opportunity to prove themselves. And if I can get before you and or perform this task better than the person over here, and now I can bring you, because it really should be boiling down to dollars and cents when you're talking about industry.
Yeah, so okay, you say that, but giving somebody a shot to see if they can muster up to the job versus somebody that is qualified to do the job and not giving them a shot.
No, I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you look at the track record of this person, I mean, I'm in the hiring, that's part of my responsibility here. I look at, is this person the best person for this position?
But how would you make an assessment of that?
Because of their history. And you look at their history, they perform.
So if you look at, and that's what I'm asking, if you look at the history of Kamala, or however you pronounce her name, if you look at the history of her and
hey, whoa, you ain't gonna do that, okay?
But I can't do that.
I'm gonna tell your wife.
I gotta speak in this impediment. Right? So Kamala, however you want to pronounce her name, right? And you can call it VP if you want to. I mean, I'm not, but only thing I'm saying though is you look at her track record based on some of the things that she has done. Like for instance, I heard this earlier today, so it's not my own thought, but it makes plausible sense. She was, her main job when she became the VP is to look after that border. To look after that border and make sure that the policies of the United States was followed to the T.
The border was jacked up before she got there. Now,
but at the same time, a lot of things is messed up before anybody in office get there.
Okay.
But you have to fix it. And in 4 years or 3.5 years, has she done anything to improve upon it? Actually, it got worse on her watch. And look at all these different cities, these so-called what you call them cities that wanted to take in
cities.
sanctuary cities. Every city that's owned by and I hate to say it, but I ain't even say it that way. I'm just gonna say that every city that wanted to be say that word again,
Sanctuary city.
Look at this. Most of them are filing bankruptcy. Most of them are over budgeted. Most of them based on just that one thing.
I'll say this, and I think we all, if we take a step back and look at your own respective profession, what you do, there's no way Jamal, even if Jamal does some of what you do in the IT world, Jamal don't know everything that you do, and you don't know, and the same thing here. So we have an outside, because people are talking about it. That's all the vice president or any vice president do. That you have one job. I will assure you, if you were there and if any of the people around, it just wasn't any borders. There's so much more that goes that is a part of being at that level that I think we were, when you said just one job, that is not the case.
No, that was one of many jobs, but that was one job she failed miserably at.
And every president and vice president before her failed, because there was never a time where we didn't have people illegal aliens coming across, not just the border, but by air. The folks that were involved
the visa program, everything. Mark Zuckerberg.
Listen, the folks that were involved in 9/11 crashing into, they didn't come across the Mexican border.
No, I agree with you. The visa, overstayed visas, and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
It's not just the southern border; it's all of that. I agree, but that's why I say that if she would have handled of many jobs, because her job is to be over the Senate and to be a vote buster. If they got a tie vote on anything, she can vote to break a tie. But she's supposed to be over the Senate, and she's supposed to be doing a couple of little things. But one of the main things that she was supposed to have to handle is that border.
Yeah.
So we gonna have to do this. We're gonna have to do another show with this right here. We're gonna have to have a special on this right here, because this is good. But Jay, I take it you don't like you don't support Kamala Harris.
Well, no, but it is it's not that I don't like Kamala. I don't think she's the best person for the job. That's bottom line.
No doubt.
That's it.
But
I don't know the lady.
But listen, I'm gonna wrap this for guys, because we getting right here at 2 hours. Jay, this Sunday, I was talking about. It's this Saturday and Sunday. We're gonna be out with Clean Feed. Clean Feed's gonna be here in Myrtle Beach at the AH. Do you know what AH stands for?
Yeah, AH stands for he's actually the director of the program. His name is Akeem Hemingway.
Okay.
And this is his top 15 or his top 100 boys that he have tournaments throughout the year, and it's culminating to this one particular event for the high school boys. And
so I'm looking here, this team LA Elite. So they got teams coming in from all over.
LE might be Lower Alabama. I don't know. You might be right. Okay. I'm not sure.
LA Elite. They got No Diddy.
I don't know if those local
SSH
teams.
High School.
Because see, Myrtle Beach, we got a sports complex down here, and this thing has been full for the past 3 weeks with just basketball camps coming weekend after week. And we have like about 10 to 12 courts inside this facility. So I haven't been able to get over there to film anything, because it's like, how do you choose what game you want to shoot? Right.
Well, this Sunday we'll be going live. I'll be going live right here on Welcome Rangers, the podcast. Jay will be streaming through My Kids Got Skills. So
and also Wing Dang TV.
Wing Dang TV. Make sure you tune in this Sunday.
Now, what time? Coaches already lined up to watch the game. They want to know specific games to watch.
It should be a great event. You know what I mean? These type of events are good recruiting. Venues, showcases.
Yes. And this is a smaller one, but our program, Clean Feed and Naomi Productions, along with Andrew Podcast, I think we're going out and try to get as many of these events that we can muster. Just to give back to the community a little bit.
He'll be Jay's got these 2 new cameras that he's been crying about, because he had to spend $1,200 on them.
that's
work
good
them
stuff.
out. Work them out. The PTZ pan tilt zoom cameras. So we should be catching some great footage. This should be a great look. Hopefully, well, I think Kaja is going to come with me down there, so she'll be calling the game with me, and I look forward to it though.
How long is the tournament? Is it a tournament?
Yeah, it's gonna be like about on Sunday. I think they got 11 different games going on Saturday, just to narrow it down to like a playoff or a final. And on Sunday we're gonna have like 6 teams playing, 8 to 6 teams playing in brackets. To get to the champion, and we'll film that in its entirety. I think each game is about 30 minutes to 15-minute 2-minute, what you call it, quarters. Yeah, I think they got 2 15-minute quarters.
2 15-minute halves.
And so half, 2 15-minute halves as you go. That's right, it'll be 4. But 2 15-minute halves, and then they're gonna just advance the game because they got so many teams that got to play. So they're not gonna have a full, game, so to speak. But anyway, we're gonna be trying to showcase a little bit of our skills with clean feed, with graphics, and
he gonna be trying to
showcase
his. I'm gonna be showcasing mine.
Yeah, well, here you go. But I mean, it's like there's certain things like scoreboards and images and certain things to go with the flow of the game. And if I don't want to get into the weeds on this because this is my wheelhouse, but just calling shots and calling graphics, and we're gonna try and implement a little bit of instant replay if we can, or instant replay highlight reel. So we're gonna try, and that's all on the fly. So it's a new, not having having to train the team and everything to do this kind of stuff. Some of the events we shot in the past was kind of like, it was cool, but it was slow. Basketball is kind of like fast. You can't even do an instant replay during the game. You got to wait to doing breaks to show a highlight of the instant replays, that kind of stuff.
No doubt. All right, so listen, I want to remind everybody.
It's gonna be cool, man. I'm excited about it.
In Georgetown County, on the screen right here is Ms. Bethany Giles. Make sure you reach out to your Georgetown County School District representative and let them know that this is who you want when that vote comes up. What do you remember that date? I forgot the date that they're gonna have the final vote.
I don't know why August. I know they want them in place, but I think the 1st of October. But something about
August 20th or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But guys, here are the numbers here. I'm gonna post them on my page. Make sure you reach out to your representative, let them know, that's what you want to do. But anyway, guys, it's been a great one here. I'm gonna sign off from here.
The Olympics kickoff Friday.
Oh yeah, definitely Olympics kickoff Friday. We got a local Georgetown County native and participating in that. So look forward to that. Did you guys hear about Jay? And you don't really do sports, but did you hear about Sudan almost beating the United States in basketball?
Oh, it was. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, that's the effect of the Dream Team. That's what that's what the effect the Dream Team had around the world, and now we're getting to that point to where that's why we're getting so many of these foreign players you never heard about, coming in and taking over the league.
Another paradigm shift. Welcome to America.
Yeah.
It's
my internet is freezing over here, guys, so I'm catching every other word.
It's all good, man. So we about to sign off. Anyway, great show. I like that. I like to go national sometime, but
we didn't even get to talk about Project 2025. I done did all my study. Yeah, so it's out there. It's next show.
No doubt, because again, this time, man, this right now, politically, if you're a political junkie like me, it's almost like a political. It's almost like I'm in assimilation. You know what I mean? Like you got a presidential assassination. You got one stepping down. You got one stepping up. You got all this stuff, going on. There you go, Miss Hannah. You make sure you, even though you don't You don't have to live in Georgetown County to make that phone call. But we want to definitely support Ms. Giles, and so because we think that she is the person to move Georgetown County
That's right.
School forward.
Dr. Bethany Giles, next
Yeah.
Georgetown County Superintendent School.
And
Yeah,
my fault, Doc. My fault,
Get
Doctor.
a signal.
All right, Jay. I'm just go ahead. You can go ahead and check out. And my bad, Dr. Bethany Giles. I got to put respect on it because you are a real doctor. You ain't no,
Hey, and guess what? And she's being, just I think by the process being used, she's being, questioned whether she's capable of doing this job.
All right, hold on a second, Jay. I'm gonna have to, driving somewhere. Hold on, let me get you up out of there real fast.
Yeah.
All
so,
right.
Yeah. So I mean, look how again the process, and maybe a necessary step, but it leads you to believe that, hey, people don't believe she's capable of doing the job, and this woman has done it all with a PhD, with her PhD and taught in the school system all the way up through. And every time I think about a high school principal, I think about a battalion. I'm related back to, and now she's at this level again. Has served as the deputy for a number of years, and still got people kind of questioning whether she's the right choice. There should have been no question.
So check this out. And this is some more of that Andrew stuff right here. I had a conversation with Miss Andrea Hanna right there, name on screen there.
My classmate, class 82.
Absolutely. And your classmate wants to sponsor a child in Andrews, South Carolina during the sports season. And I'm gonna clip this out and run this at the front so I can just do this as a thing. But for anybody in Andrews, South Carolina, Georgetown County who is has a child, we have a citizen who wants to step up and sponsor that child throughout this season. You see her name on the screen right there. You can reach out to me and we can facilitate this. Or if you know of somebody that could use some help, just somebody wanting to support another child. She doesn't live in Andrews, but she's from Andrews. So y'all help me out with that. Help me, help her, help that person. I got you, Jay. So yeah. Class 82.
Leading the way.
Yep.
Always, man. So it's good, but I'm really on, this. I appreciate again allowing me to, state my opinion on these things that are near and dear to me in terms of when it comes to fairness, and it's not based on what you look like. I don't think we talk about it at this level enough. And just having a conversation, and we all walk away with our own opinion. But again, and I won't open, I'll say this, but we don't have to get into it again. When we start talking about this Project 2025 and the way some of it's been talked about, people hadn't even, I don't think they looked beyond.
The talk, the sound bites.
Yeah, we will take somebody else's opinion and run with it as it's the truth. And so
I gotta find a new barbershop now because I told the guy the other day in the barbershop, bro, I'm not doing the ignorant. Like, if you don't have enough respect for yourself to educate yourself on things that you want to debate on, and I said that just like I said, if you don't have enough respect for yourself to inform yourself, you know what I mean? Especially when you come into the barbershop, and some of these barbershops turning into beauty salons with all this. I'm about to start cutting my own hair. That's a whole nother thing. But get the information, man. We live in the information age.
Yeah. So study, and again, I'm not here advocating for it, but what I do know, what I do know about this Project 2025, it is no different from what the Democratic Party or the liberals or the conservative, there is an organization that is a part of the whole presidential transition team. So those people are looking at policy changes. Now, I didn't drill down on the policy, so I'm not here advocating for this at all. But what I did to go back and said, okay, what is this all about? Well, it's the Heritage Foundation, who is a conservative-based
and that's
organization that begin to look at the people who need to be the ones that go in there to be a part of this conservative leader cabinet and all these other key positions. And so now in this case, they said, you know, again, in former President Trump's case, he accepted, I guess, 2/3 of their recommendation. There's a recommendation. Now you got to look at it, see what it's all about. But by the same token, you have the Center for American Progress that does the same thing for, you know, the liberals.
Yep.
Or liberals, not the Dems or the prop. No, not that. But I'm not in a disparaging way. But so there's people, because again, when you hit the ground, when you get that baton, you own it. And if you don't have the right people in place, that somebody is looking at that, it is a transition team that does that for you, and you move forward. Because when it clicks, people are moving out. All these appointees and all these people who make things happen, you know, behind the scene, behind the president, it's time for them to go. In most cases, they will keep, you know, that incoming person will keep probably one or two. But if it's a Democrat or Republican, they're probably going to wipe house. They're going to drain the swamp.
Absolutely.
Whether the Republican swamp or Democrat swamp, these people got to go. You got to have people around you that's trusted. So drill down and know that this is what to do. And again, it's the option of that person that is elected to take these ideas, policy ideas. Now I know I want to see what these policies about, and I'm sure I will, you know, have a reaction. But just understand that we need to educate ourselves and have an informed opinion about whether you're at my level or the national level. Just don't take somebody else's thought and get out here and start to spew. Yeah, I mean, and it's not, and Mr. Wesley is not wrong in that assumption. You know, that, yes, it's setting it up. It's talking about changing the way the Democrats.
It's no different from the plan that got us to where we were with Paul Wolfowitz and all of these guys. What was the name of that plan, man? What the plan that we're operating under in the policy plan that we're operating under in the Middle East? Yeah, you know, and that was set by neocons, you know, and so it's the same type damn point.
And if it's, you know, the next 40 years or the next, you know, just, you know, during this term, that is the role of these type organizations to now, you know, and that's the way it goes. And you know, and so it's nothing foreign. It's just that now we're all paying attention. We're all super sensitive about this political environment, and it's new to some of us. But take the time to do the research and find out, you know, even if it's Vice President Harris, you know, what is her transition team looking at? Who are some of the people they're looking at and putting in place to again to move her agenda forward? Just be informed and not just come out and
this total bias, like you just bias. Yeah. Like I'm gonna listen to this. I ain't even listening to that because it's coming from such and such, or I like that just hurts me personally. I think it hurts you as an individual when you just cut that off. Well, I ain't listening to it. They could be right. You know what I mean? they could actually be right, you know? And a lot of times it's that middle ground is what you're taking a little bit from them, taking a little bit from them, and you're trying to, find that middle ground.
Now, when we start this massive change of our Constitution, or when those things start happening, then you better be concerned. If we got all conservative or liberal judges, you better be concerned. If the scale is tilted so far that now it doesn't represent this multi-fashion, multicultural country, then we have a problem. So let's look for a balance as best we can, and understanding that not everybody is going to be happy. Not everybody's happy, at any level. Miss you too, my brother. Hey, there's old Rick. Please, give me a call, man. I want to get caught up on Philly.
I'm not finished. Yeah.
I'm looking at your team this year, Rick, and see you guys look like a powerhouse down in the Philadelphia Eagles. Rick was one of the lead reporters here at the Georgetown Times, and he had moved on now back closer back home and reporting. One of the great ones, one of the good, fair reporters, man. And it was a joy to have him around. Shout out to Rick and the Philadelphia Eagles.
No, that's Gibson. That's brother Gibson, them neck of the woods up there.
Yeah, no. So those two guys get along well.
Yeah.
City of brotherly love.
No doubt. Hey, a quick question. Are you a member of? I joined it the other day. It's a membership of where veterans get these travel deals.
I'm not, but I've seen it floating around.
It's like $8.99 a month, and I joined it, and it's I'm gonna tell you the name of it. And any veteran, go there and check this out and see if it's worth. And I mean, you can join it for free and still get, still benefit from it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's called Government Vacation Rewards. Yep, GOV Vacation Rewards. I'll send you a link to it.
Okay. Let me do this too before we get up, because Congressman Fry, his team will be here in Andrews. Let me see if it's the people like, well, is he a Democrat or is he a Republican? I'm for the people who are doing the right thing. I don't care what side you want. And Congressman Fry has been a strong advocate for veterans, and that's what, when you start talking about veterans benefit, that's what came to mind. So that's on the 31st, Wednesday. He'll have his travel office will be here in the town of Andrews.
Okay.
And I'll get.
I have those sound panels. Jay did give me those sound panels.
If we can check those out before then.
Yeah, I'll be there this weekend. I'll be there. I'll be there. Matter of fact, Sunday when I'm done with Jay, we can. I'll stop. Matter of fact, I'll stop by beforehand to see what I need to secure those things to the wall, and then I can grab those panels, put those sound panels in there.
So you said Fry, you said Ronnie Sabb. No, these are my guys. They have looked out for this town and the veterans, and how can you not? It's like you say, you're not going to agree with everything that everybody does, but when you find people that can help,
man, you better not. You don't let that R or that D stop you from doing what you need to do for the people that you represent.
Yeah.
That go for any politician. Don't be don't be an idiot.
That's what I tell people. Just open your mind, man, and this like you said, just don't shut someone off because of their color, their political preference, and that kind of business, because that could be the very person that helps you move or help somebody that in tough situations, or just help them advance. So that's where I'll shut it up, man. I'm kind of fired up tonight. But I was one on the call last night of the 20,000 men.
Okay. Is that the same kind of call? I heard what's the name did it? What's the name? There's about 30,000 people on the call with Maryland.
Oh yeah, like 40. I think it was 43,000 women. It was over 20,000 men last night. Raised $1.3 million in about 4 hours. So yeah, I'm gonna be where it's at. I'm gonna let you sleep on that one.
It's all good, man. Look, let me go ahead. I gotta get me something to eat. I've been running all day, and I gotta jump up tomorrow.
All right, my friend.
Take care of this. Got an extreme situation to take care of tomorrow, man. But it's shout out to these churches that's out here doing. And I'll get the name of this church that's helping this older gentleman out. Who a client of mine, and I was just moved this morning by, as I was thinking about him, like, man, you don't have no family, da, 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 da. Here comes this guy, a stranger, calls me, and he's from the church that the guy's going to, and they're looking to, so they're going to be working with me, and he's got an extreme situation, and we're going to get that taken care of, and they're going to do all this other stuff, and it's just awesome. It's refreshing, you know what I mean? When people are just out here doing it for the right reason.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm gonna get out, man. Listen, great show, great conversation. Y'all know what it is. Real Talk Tuesday, every Tuesday. Come check us out. And I'm gonna say good night.